Facebook is getting political about the upcoming elections.
And the Chattanooga State Tigers are getting prepped for spring baseball.
Those stories and more on Today at ChattState. Hi, I'm Kayla Brukowski.
And I'm Chris Straughter. How are you doing this week, Kayla?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm all right. As the 2012 campaign heats up, Facebook is positioning itself to be one of the most influential methods of reaching potential voters. Lisa Sylvester reports on how Facebook and other internet heavyweights have a lot at stake in Washington.
Facebook is friending people in high places. The internet company that CEO Mark Zuckerberg started in his Harvard dorm room has formed a new political action committee to financially back political candidates.
I think people are surprised because they look at Mark Zuckerberg and say, wow, this young kid has so much money and so much influence, and now he's going to go to Washington and try to exert himself on the lawmakers.
In a statement, a Facebook spokesman said, quote, FB PAC will give our employees a way to make their voice heard in the political process by supporting candidates who share our goals of promoting the value of innovation to our economy while giving people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. Facebook joins the ranks of other tech companies moving into politics. Google co-hosted a Republican presidential debate last week. LinkedIn held a town hall-style meeting with President Obama. At the same time, Congress is starting to pay more attention to internet companies. Google's CEO Eric Schmidt was called to testify before a Senate panel last week on antitrust issues. Other issues that might invite lobbying by internet firms: intellectual property, patents, taxes, and the biggie for Facebook, privacy.
They are playing a unique role as a company in terms of all of the privacy and personal data that they control. And there's no question that they are going to be dealing more and more with legal overtures and regulatory challenges that are going to require extensive governmental interaction.
Disclosure forms show that Facebook, which had almost no presence in Washington a couple of years ago, has been ramping up on the political front, hiring big guns like Erskine Bowles, President Clinton's former chief of staff, and former Clinton press secretary Joe Lockhart.
With Google, with all of these tech companies, we're seeing a real spike in activity in their campaign donations and lobbying.
Facebook so far has spent more than $550,000 on lobbying this year, almost as much as it's spent in the past 2 years combined. Google has spent about 6 times as much, or $3.5 million on lobbying this year. Last year, Facebook had 2 lobbyists in Washington. This year, it has more than 24 lobbyists. Lisa Sylvester, CNN, Washington.
Speaking of Facebook, how do you like the changes to the layout lately?
I personally don't like it. I think they just need to keep it at something.
You're right. Here's what more students here at ChattState had to say about changes to Facebook.
Well, I don't like about the new Facebook the ticker that shows up, because you can ask your friends to unsubscribe from you, but if they don't, every move you make is going to be shown on Facebook.
Click on a picture or a profile, pack of pictures, you know what I'm saying? Just keep clicking on that one secret file without having to press a little arrow that it is now. I don't know why they just all of a sudden decide that that's a smart idea, because to me it's very inconvenient.
It's probably could be a bit more organized.
I just don't like how they keep changing it. I mean, I don't understand why they have to keep changing it. I mean, I hate that little thing at the side. The news feed comes up. Like, why do you need that?
In Sumner County, a group of football coaches in Tennessee are being criticized for praying with their students. Here's Josh Devine with more.
In a town like this,
we're just respectful, God-fearing people up here.
Faith and football seem to matter. Just ask Tony Bennell, who called games for Westmoreland High School for 42 years.
A lot of history. A lot of changes, a lot of football.
So when he, like a lot of people, heard what happened after a recent game at the middle school,
it actually blew my mind that we had, come to that point. Nobody in this town is offended if you pray. Nobody.
During a student-originated, student-led prayer, 4 coaches bowed their heads. They didn't say a word, but the principal and the district still found out.
We've been telling our principals to kind of be looking for those kind of things, because that is kind of a shift in how things have been done. Can in no way appear like it's endorsed by Sumner County Schools personnel.
So a bowing of the head could qualify as endorsing?
It depends on what it looks like. That's where you kind of get into the gray area that we're having to deal with.
Each coach had to sign a letter stating he understood the district's revised policy. Staff can be there when students pray, but cannot appear to take part, even outside school hours. The tougher policy came just months after the American Civil Liberties Union sued the district, arguing it violated separation of church and state. But in the push to stay legal and steer clear of another lawsuit, some in this town would say the district is going entirely too far.
That's a violation of their rights. We should be able to bow our heads in reverence to God wherever we are. It's time we draw a line in the sand and say, you know, this is ridiculous.
The school district says the coaches were not disciplined, but they were educated on the district's policy. Still, like any policy, if an employee has a pattern of breaking the rules, they are subject to discipline. I wonder how Chattanooga State coaches are dealing with this issue.
I don't know, but that would be a good question for Coach Dennis. The Chattanooga State baseball team is already training for their upcoming season.
As Chattanooga State baseball team prepares for the up-and-coming season, they endure hours of vigorous training and hitting drills to get them conditioned for the season at hand.
We're looking to have, of course, a winning record. We want to be competitive in the conference, the region. We've won the conference 2 of the last 5 years, so our goal always is to go out and try to be the top of the conference.
We all like one big family. We about to joke around, play around.
We're just one big old happy family, you know. We just play ball and go to school first, so then play ball.
For a list of the playing times and schedule, contact Coach Greg or the Rec Center. I'm Keith Carlos for Today at ChattState.
Thanks, Keith. Now for a quick look at the weather, here's Morgan Westke.
It looks great for the coming weekend and all of next week, actually, with sunny skies and highs in the 70s. Enjoy it, since it won't be long until it gets cold again. Back to you, Kayla.
Thanks, Morgan. That's it for today at ChattState. Be sure to check us out each week online and on Comcast Cable 3.
And as always, have a great day.